Okay, we are ready to begin. Good morning, everyone. Do you know who I am? No? If not, that's okay. I don't know who you are either. So my name is Kenneth Long, and I'm one of the founders of Mindfest and the organizer of Mindfest. And it gives me a great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Does anybody know about Qigong? Raise your hand. Okay, so some of you know about Qigong. How about Tai Chi? Have you heard of Tai Chi? So a lot more people. So when we were even putting the program together, some of the people were asking me, oh, what is Qigong? I've never heard of it. I'm explaining Tai Chi, and a lot more people heard of it. So they actually came from the same origin, and Qigong is actually brought. In fact, Qigong is what really inspired the Star Wars universe and the Force. Did you know that? So today, I'm happy to introduce to you Master Yoda, the Master Yoda equivalent. So the next speaker is Master TERESA Yeung, and she's a Qigong master, internationally respected Qigong master that has her own school and has published books on the health and well-being and the use of Qigong, which is kind of a life force, which I can't explain to you, but it's something that you will hear from our master. And you're going to have an experience not only by listening to what Qigong is. I think that she's going to help you feel the life force and Qigong. So she's going to do some demonstration and also involvement of all of you with the practice of Qigong. So let's give a warm and welcome to Master TERESA.
So hi everyone. So I guarantee you will have a good time with me. Of my 24 experience with Qigong, so I have decided to do Qigong, which is a breathing exercise, very mindful, breath work, and we think. So when I was 20 years old, I threw up blood. One whole night. I did not want to wake up my parents because we have 9 brothers and sisters. So I hang on until the morning. And I was quarantined. I was contagious. I got tuberculosis. I was on medicine 2 years. So that started my journey really sick. Because of that, I don't want to tell you about the story, just one first. Because I had a very traumatic life. You will cry for me when you know my whole life. So the first thing I want to show you is how to feel good with all this virus going on. We know when we are stressful, it wears down immunity. This is science, right? So I put down a YouTube video a month ago, how to help people to breathe better and boost the lungs, right? And I'm going to do it right away. And let's get started. Okay. So the first thing we're going to sit doing first, and then we're going to start. And I have my lovely daughter, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, she's a... Jacqueline is a... Come on. Jacqueline is an early childhood studies in psychology master degree. She is actually right now in working in the hospital. Okay, so I will just keep it quiet. Which hospital she is in? Wow. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Qigong, and then you can talk about whatever you want to talk. That's the monk, right?
So Qigong is great for relaxing ourselves, and when you see her do the practice, you can follow along. So this is specifically a respiratory Qigong, and beside your nose over here, you see that there are a couple acupressure points that stimulate blood flow and oxygen flow through our sinuses. So what she's doing right now is when you breathe in, you gently press. You don't want to give yourself a bruise. So just gently press down, breathe in and press. And then breathe out and relax. And breathe in and press. And breathe out and let go. So keep doing that on your own. So breathe in, press, breathe out and let go. And the second move here, we again are going to focus on our sinus using our fingers. So our fingers carry warmth, carry energy, carry chi. And we're going to sweep down our nose. So you sweep down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Just keep going.
So when you stroke faster and faster, then you breathe better, right? You breathe better, you raise up your hand. Yeah. The nose open up, this is perfect for the hay fever season. So this is Qigong too. But we do it very fast, right? It's good. So next step we're going to do is, you can stand up now, here. So, read more button. Sit down, please. Just read more. So, oh, this is just really my most amazing day. We're so lucky too that only TV came and it's really crazy. So we had all the grade 11, 12 willing to participate. I'm really grateful. And so I also really thank Dr. Fong allowed the Qigong to be in University of Toronto. So since I'm here, so before we continue to do a little Qigong, so do we want to hear what the principals say there? I think why not, right? Here. Because it's only TV Chinese came. So press the button, check. Oh, okay. You want to say anything, Jacqueline? You were one of the girl, 5 years old, that was brought up with Qigong too, right? Are you ready? Well, I didn't ask her, she just showed up, right? So since you showed up, right? Yeah, she actually won the Toastmaster speaking recently. Not to give you long, 1 minute.
So in Toastmasters, we get 2 minutes. Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline. This is unprepared. I didn't prepare anything, but for me, high school was a tough time, and I also felt kind of weird being the one doing things like self-help and self-development and caring about my mental health. I felt weird for doing that because my friends at the time didn't care about that. They cared about playing Gunbound, which was a computer game, and other video games, and maybe doing well in school. That's what they cared about, and fitting in. So no one cared about stuff that I cared about, and for the longest time I felt like a weird loner. And so as a result, it took some time for me to grow out of that, and I found that it gets better. So in university, after high school, you really get to carve out who you want to be. You really get to be involved in clubs and extracurriculars and volunteer keep going, keep caring about who you are, what you love doing, even if no one around you likes doing it right now. Do what you love, and the path just continues to unfold. And of course, incorporating a self-care practice, mindfulness, yoga, or Qigong, it's all only supportive tools for your journey.
So because Jacqueline is a little bit younger than her mother, so she has a new way to explain Qigong that's actually easier, I think. And what was the way you would want to add to help the young people understand what Qigong is? So they just, ooh, what's that? Why do I want it? So what would you say? Right? Because if you were in the high school, I tell you to do Qigong, because it was the mother thing, so you joined. You probably running away, right? Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know, right? So what would you actually just, they are there, right? So what say, check them out. What would one thing you would encourage them to look at Qigong now? You want 5 minutes to think, you can come back. Okay. Okay, agreed. So
I think there's so much information out there, and you have a lot of alternatives aside from the religion that you grew up with and what you're taught by your parents. Definitely respect that and respect the traditions and cultural upbringings you have and the belief systems you're brought up with. But understand that there's alternatives, and there's a lot of different healing modalities, and we've brought Qigong here in a very secular way, so we take out those kind of faith aspects to it. But yeah, Qigong is just like a moving mindfulness in motion.
So we're going to give you something very simple to do. So you can do it sitting down, right? So you have a choice here. So we have 5 minutes, right? Now. So you either have ache and pain, or maybe tightness, right? So you can put your mind to just relax that tightness. And then say, if it's 2 shoulders, I'd like you to just focus on one shoulder. If it's 2 hands, I'd like you to focus on one hand. So don't hold on to the computer if you want results better, because the computer has another vibration coming up. We love that too. Now, so we will focus on one thing. Okay, got it, one thing. So what you do is the energy is everywhere, so like a light. The light of life. Just think it comes. And then you just go to where it feels tighter. Just that. You can breathe in. You can breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So relax that area. Breathe in, breathe out. Say it is that area. Keep thinking about how can I be more mindful of it? How can I have the muscles more relaxed? How can I put all my mind on it? So as you focus on it continuously, so that area feels better. So either it's physical or emotional is the same, right? You can hold on difficult feelings, or you say, I'm going to start letting it go, right? So I think about let go. Just let go. How do I let go? I breathe out and let go, right? I breathe in. Nice. Lots of people love me. Breathe out. Let it go. That could be just a very mindful thing for yourself. So we focus for a couple more minutes like this. It's almost like a problem go to the floor. The light, the sun, the moon is out. Everything goes to the floor. All the problems go to Mother Earth. That's what it is. I was told that there are time for questions. Anyone want to ask some questions?
Just raise your hand and I'll pass you the mic.
would help us to follow these things that you do?
Oh, the book. The book. So the book is called Life Force. Actually, the book is actually downstairs in the hall. I have a table, so you can come and look at it. Downstairs here in the hall. The book is there. It's there. Well, you just go. It's pretty easy to find me. Just look for Master Teresa. There's only not much around. That's woman Qigong master in the world. It's a guy thing. I somehow got into the guy world. So, and then, I don't know, that's something I never learned. I just know how to use the mouse. Okay. So, if you, well, this is my children. You know, just here. So this is one of the goals, and etc. Go down more. So there's also Qigong for the eye, continue down, doctors, right? I was on TV, I was on China. So you can subscribe to this record. So this is one. So I have another website for the school, but I actually messed it up the other day. So here you go. Here. Just going to show you. Any other questions? Continue questions?
So in terms of the timeline, I do know a little bit about like history of kind of like energy coming from the ancient times. So can you give like a little bit of like a timeline in terms of like history and how energy has been kind of in our lives all this time, in a sense, I guess?
I want to, the timeline, go down. So I have a little WordPress plugin problem. So that's when the web school page becomes like this. But I don't feel embarrassed. It doesn't matter. Things go down. So this is what Qigong helps me. So nothing bothers me. So the next thing about the history is so Qigong has been around 5,000 years already. So, you know, in old days, we don't have TV, we don't have cell phone. So it's basically a guy thing, right? So the guy needs a lot of movements. It's not that you want a lot of movements, that's not enough to do. So usually Qigong is very long because of that, it's very long. And then more physical is part of martial arts, right? So, and then after 200 years ago, and then people have Reiki, right? So Reiki comes from Qigong. So Master Yushi also went to China to study Buddhism and Taoism and develop Reiki. So Qigong is what people go for after they do Reiki and yoga. It's very common. Did I answer your question? So yeah, Jacqueline, yeah, okay, we can go on. So it's 5,000 years old, and when Qigong become more official, would be, I would say, it would be in the emperor's time, right? The emperor has 3,000 wives. All the Chinese emperors, 3,000 wives. All the women in the kingdom belongs to the emperor, right? So that don't worry about that. The thing is, they really want to live long, right? So that's when Qigong become more official and figure out how to live longer, right? You know, in old days, most people die around 40, 50 years old. Of course, if they're 3,000. Next thing. So next, other questions? Okay. So Qigong basically consists of two things, just to finish it. One is practicing, and the other one is receiving energy. So we can do that too if you want to see, if I blast energy out to you, how do you feel different, right? So the practicing is beautiful, and that question.
I was wondering, how does Qigong help to change the thoughts in your mind? Like, what's the connection between energy and, say, negative
I love it. That's
thoughts?
awesome. No, people understand meditation, right? They understand mindful, right? So Qigong basically is bringing them together with movements most of the time. Because your mind, when you meditation, it's actually a pretty painful journey to just meditate. Come on. I would never be successful if I was told to meditate. How can I sit down? I'm actually a swimmer. I can just sit down. So the practice of the Qigong, because your mind goes into the breath. Yes, you're quieting down, and then there's some simple movement. So your mind goes into lifting the hand, lowering the hand. So when you keep following the teacher, the instructions, then you only have the instructions. Then gradually your thoughts goes away. The problem is practicing Qigong by yourself at home is the problem. Because there's no people to tell you what to do, then you don't do. So when there's a program, you have to press the button. You can still don't press the button. So then that's why it's very hard to not think about things when you're by yourself, because no one, that's why a good videos, you can follow it and become a habit. And then after you do it like every day for after a month, you will build that lifetime habit. I have hay fever before, not much. I used to have allergies to cat, no. I have digestive problem, I have constipation, I have diarrhea, I have leg pain, back pain, I have migraine headache, I can't sleep. I always go to bed and have to think 45 minutes about anything in the whole world, and hopefully I will sleep after that. But that was like 20 years ago. But now, as I was doing Qigong, I just go to bed, go to sleep. Because you learn to shift just like that. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, now for Qigong, quiet down. Okay, keep on doing it, and you bring this habit into your bed. So once you go to bed, okay, Qigong, relax, sleep, then you're done. That's one of the reasons why people is not sleeping, which is, I would say, a biggest problem in the society, because they're too engaged in, say, the news, life stuff, family stuff, your stuff, your own, all the stuff, too much stuff, really. So when do I rest? We don't rest. Because we keep thinking non-stop. So when we go to bed, what do? We're still thinking. So when we sleep, what happens? Nightmares. And then you wake up tired. So would you not say that if your day is more energizing, then would you not be happier? Anybody not agree? You don't want to be happy. Okay, so I guess we know. Any other questions? Okay. Yes?
Sorry, can I add to that? Because you were talking specifically about Qigong and your thoughts. It's something I'm really curious about because I'm quite introspective with that whole psychology interest. So what I found is that Qigong is like a mindfulness practice in the sense that we're able to quiet down our mind. Because I think there's been some studies done on different regions of our brain that's activated when we're in a practice like Qigong, mindfulness, or sitting practice. So the brain, the part of our brain that's super emotional kind of slows down a little bit and it activates a different area. So Qigong, because it's very focused on our movements, that becomes our focus of anchor, or in the moment, or our focus point. And we're breathing, and usually we only get to that state of peace and relaxation when we're sleeping. But when we're practicing, it's like, oh, this is what it feels like to feel peace and centered when I'm consciously aware of how it feels. So as I practice every day, and I found this through my own personal practice every day, from not practicing and practicing every day, that, oh, okay, I know how it feels like feels like to feel peaceful, I know when I'm off. And I know that this is when I need to go eat some ice cream, or I need to go talk to a friend, or take a walk. It just builds that awareness, and I think that's one of the most valuable things for me.
Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Jacqueline. I love it. Thank you. So if you want to feel good, give yourself a Qigong a few minutes a chance. And then as you know what it likes to feel better, then you can make a conscious choice of not feeling bad anymore. That's when you decide to do more things in your life that give you the good feelings, the proper way, the good way, nice way. Are we okay now? Got it. Thank you. Bye.
So thank you very much, Master Teresa, and thank you for your attention. So some of the questions about Qigong, I think is very interesting. I hope you're fascinated by it. Certainly, as there was a question about energy work and also the body. As a psychiatrist, I think it's interesting for us to kind of contemplate, because we study the connections between the mind and body. From a Western point of view, oftentimes we kind of disconnect the two, and we only focus on the body or the mind. And also, when we study the mind, we tend to look at very biological neurotransmitters type of physiology. But of course, we know even when you're anxious, your whole body reacts to it, and we're not aware of it. That's why there are many of these practices we wanted to introduce you to. One, Qigong. And of course, I think a lot of you might have been involved in yoga or mindfulness, or even when you go for a jog, your endorphins, pumps up. So this is not the only way. This is certainly one way. But I think expanding our minds about how do we take care of our body, as well as our mind, and the connection between the two. I think the more we pay attention to that, the more we are able to achieve holistic health. So this is not to convert all of you to become Qigong practitioners. If you feel something, this is for you, so this is something you can look up. If Tai Chi speaks better for you, or some of you are into yoga, or other kinds of mindfulness meditation, or taking a walk in nature, or for some of you it could be aerobic sports. So there are many avenues to it, and each one has their pros and cons. And in other words, pay attention to what your body tells you as well as your mind. So I think that with that, I want to once again thank you for the presenters today to present one of the many options out there. We hope that you expand your mind to explore different things. That's what Mindfest is about. And if you have a nice experience, you can tell others about it. And we also value your feedback as well. So make sure you fill in feedback form. Do they know how to? Feel free to email me as feedback, and we'll continue to improve the event for all of you. So thank you.